Today, I have taken a very profound topic, that is love. What is love? On this topic, a very vast literature is available, and so many historical stories are also combined with it. And so deep philosophies have been made on this topic. To define love can be really a very complicated thing. But if we try to say something about it genuinely, then we have to be true. Our being truthful is enough to describe this topic. This is not really that much difficult as we think, because we are living this life only because of love. Let us remember our parents. Why are we born? This is just because of the love. A great attraction between male and the female, which is allowing these two to be connected to each other forever. And because of this attraction, they are in such a conflict forever that they can never be separated from each other. In other things, we can say love is just an emotional attachment with the two, the male and the female. But is that enough? Isn't it something really profound that because of which this whole universe is moving? See, when the first two personalities who started this universe from the very origin, when this world started, what should be the reason that they loved each other? And the third human being or a child, the very first child, took birth. Reason for is quite clear. We cannot say that it must have been only a bodily thirst or just lust. Of course, there is something very intrinsic and natural. But if we try to be dishonest, then the definition can be difficult. But if we stay true to our very nature, then it simply means the thirst between the male and the female for being one is really the true love. Because from the very point when they started thinking themselves to be two, from that point the mistake started. It is like when a child takes birth from a female. From that point, it looks like he has separated himself from its very being, where it got created. It looks like that. But he yet is not separated. He is still one with the very female from where he got born. But this mistake is always with him. He finds himself to be separated, and he wants once again to be one with the very source from where he got born. If he comes to the point that he is always one, because he is in the form of Ardhanarishwar. You know, the male and the female, they both are simultaneously present into a human being. They were never separated. But this confusion that they are separate makes them to run after each other. The male runs after the female and the female runs after the male. And because of it, a certain kind of attraction takes place between them, and it goes on for a long time until they die. But once they come to this conclusion that they are not separated from each other, they are always one. The bodies look like to be two, but they are one from inside. It is something like we have fire burnt at two places at the same time. Yet we do not say that these are two fires. Fire is always one, even if it is burnt at different places at the same time. In the same way, the humans, even if they are looking to be millions, billions, but they are one from inside. That super consciousness is always the one into them. That is not to be counted. That is always one. But until that conclusion comes to this very human being, he finds himself into a very vicious circle that he is separated, and he runs after the female and the female runs after the male. Till then, this attraction looks like a love between them. Still, I do not want to confine myself to this conclusion that love is only a thirst into a male to be one with the female, or a thirst into a female to be one with the male. Yet, as they are one, and as they one day find it themselves that they are one always, and they were one, and they will always be one, that conclusion, when it is found, then they come to know that love is God. Because when they come to this conclusion, they find that they were never separated, and they find themselves to be the Ardhanarishwar. And in that form, should we think that they are two or they are separated? They are not. They are one. And that final conclusion, when they find themselves to be the Ardhanarishwar, and that feeling, that is real love. In that sense, they are out of dualism, and non-dualism is maintained. But when can it happen? For it, the first thing which is really fundamental or very compulsory is to be honest with each other. Being honest and maintaining that action or reaction happening between the male and the female, and going on the path without being perverted, then one day that male and the female finally understand it, that they are one. The male finds that female into himself always and already present. And the female also finds that the male is always and already present into herself. And that dualism is broken. And in this true sense, the true feeling of being non-dualistic makes them feel to be in love forever. And I call it love. So running after each other throughout the life in the attraction of male and female, just a bodily attraction, is quite idiotic. But remember, I'm not criticizing it. This is right, this is natural, no doubt. But when we are doing the same, or when we are into that circle, we should try to be the witness and maintain that attraction and go through it and find the conclusion. Then one day the male finds peeping out the same consciousness present into himself, into the eyes of the female too. And the female also finds one day the same consciousness peeping out from the eyes of the male. Then they understand that the same consciousness is present into the male, and the male too finds that the same consciousness is present into the female too. And then from that very day, that race is stopped. And from that day, the true love happens between them, and they become the Hir Ranja